to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Brianne Beebe. I'm a high school math teacher and a teacherpreneur. In my last video, I shared about my favorite teacher podcasts. So if you are interested in getting free, on-the-go professional development that you get to choose, check out my last video to see which podcasters are amazing. Today I'm sharing about Teacherpreneur Podcasts. Business podcasts are a thing. There are tons of them. But for teacherpreneurs to listen to Jenna Kutcher's Goal Digger podcast or Amy Porterfield's Online Marketing Made Easy, some episodes can be like trying to take a drink from a fire hose. Some things just don't pertain to us or to go into details that we don't really need. So I really love listening to teacherpreneur podcasts. More and more are popping up, but I think I found them all. So the first one that I'm mentioning is Teacherpreneur Marketing Made Easy. This one is, I think, now defunct. There's 15 episodes. It stopped in November 2018. There haven't been any new episodes since, but what was there I did like. The episodes were just very clear and to the point, no fluff. There's another podcast called Teacherpreneurs Raise Your Hand. I haven't really listened to it. I mean, I listened to a few episodes, but I really just didn't connect with the host. So I kind of took that as an opportunity to unsubscribe because the less I have to listen to, the better. You know what I mean? I only want to listen to my favorites. I don't want to listen to everything just because it's available, but that's another one to check out if you're interested in finding your teacherpreneur podcasts. There is the Grow With Us podcast. This is with two hosts named Angie and April. They are both full-time TPT sellers and they kind of just talk through whatever it is going on in their business, or sometimes they bring on people to interview and ask them questions. It's very informative, and my favorite episode was the one where one host helped the other host set up their email sequence. Their episodes are not numbered, but the episode that I'm referencing is from May 2018, and it was simply titled Setting Up Angie's Email Sequence. I found it very helpful because they just give you this really great example, and I was able to work from that example and set up my own sequences. The next one is the Elite Edupreneurs podcast. This one is hosted by Rachel Davis. She's like a guidance counselor or a social worker, and she does TPT on the side. The format of the show was that Rachel would bring on guests and interview them, but literally ask them the same exact questions every time, and after a while the answers were also same. So I unsubscribed because I just got tired of it and just didn't want to listen to it anymore. So for 2020, Rachel reformatted the show and kind of rebooted it, and I resubscribed, and I love how it is now. So basically she's bringing on guests still, but she and the guests are talking through and asking each other questions and just sharing what they're doing in their business, and I just like this so much more. So far, my two favorite episodes was 2020 goal setting and the best of 2019. That was just nice to listen to. And the second one that I loved just came out last week. It was all about email marketing. I'm filming this on a Monday. The episodes for this show come out Tuesday, so tomorrow morning there's going to be a new episode, and I'm really looking forward to it. There's a podcast called Side Hustle Teachers. It's by Stacey Ogden, and it's a good podcast, and it's interesting because she brings people on the show and they talk about their side hustles as teachers, but a lot of them are not like TPT. It's different things. So it's interesting to listen to, but I kind of only listen to certain episodes. I don't listen to everything because some of it I'm just not interested in, but it is cool to know that this exists, and I like that it is specifically teachers that have a side hustle. So full-time teachers that are doing something else. One of my favorite teacherpreneur podcasts is the CEO Teacher Podcast by Casey Morris. This one was recently rebranded. It used to be called the Go-Getters Podcast. I like that this podcast has a variety. It's both informative, and some episodes it's Casey explaining something and teaching you about something, and then other episodes she has other people come on and she interviews them. So I'm excited for what the new episodes have in store, because the Go-Getters podcast was a business podcast, but now that she's rebranded it as the CEO Teacher Podcast, it is a business podcast specifically for teachers. Two episodes from Casey's podcast just really stand out as being favorites of mine. The first one was Mind Mapping Matters, where Casey kind of described how she thought through an idea with Post-it notes. And the other one was about work-life balance. If you struggle with work-life balance or wonder if it's even possible, listen to that episode. It was fantastic. And she does number the episodes, so just for reference, the mind mapping episode was 21 and the work-life balance episode was number 59. So the last podcast that I'm sharing is my absolute favorite. It is the Teacher Hustle podcast by Alyssa McDonald. Alyssa is a teacher with a side hustle like me, and so I just really relate to her and gravitate to these kinds of teacherpreneurs because I feel like whatever Alyssa shares or anyone else that's still teaching full-time is realistic and doable. When I listen to some of the other podcasts where people aren't working full-time anymore and they're just doing Teachers Pay Teachers, some of the stuff that they talk about doing, I'm like, that's cool, but when would I ever have time for that? It's not realistic. And so that's why I really love Alyssa's podcast. Everything is just very doable. The episodes are very easy to follow. My favorite episode from Alyssa's podcast was episode 6, where she basically walked through a day in the life, and she has a toddler like I do. So it was just very relatable, and that's when I was like, okay, I feel like Alyssa's just my person. She does interview guests, but most of her episodes are like directly teaching you something, and I find those to be very easy to follow, and I just enjoy them because I get what I need right away and I get to start implementing immediately. So those are my favorite Teacherpreneur podcasts. I will have links to each one in the description box below, and if you have any that you know about that I somehow missed, please leave them in the comments below or tell me which one is your favorite. And as always, thanks for watching.